to the actual number. It cuts down on a step. It cuts down on you having to end up dividing by negative 1 cube. Okay? What would I do first? Subtract 3 from both sides. When I do that, I get negative q. I get q over negative 4 equals, what's 18 minus 3? You could do it the other way. You could do it the other way. Number 19, 1 plus